Is Mitch McConnell tomorrow trying to take your MSC moolah? Is he trying to take that $800 billion that is sitting around that can be repurposed for executive orders for multiple stimulus checks? Boy. And what did one newspaper back home do about Mitch McConnell today? This is McConnell versus Trump. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm here, you're here, but the question is, where's Mitch McConnell? Good week here. So long as he stays away from our money, we're totally fine wherever he goes. Just, don't bring that lobster bill around us anytime soon. Go to the front channel, subscribe. We're at 297, 3,000 away from 300,000. That's just insane. Let's get there. What a great community this is, and a lot of people that really care about one another. I really appreciate all the love on this channel. Also, like this video. Coming up in this video, I will be going over the one of Kentucky's largest newspapers is not endorsing Mitch McConnell. Oh my goodness, is it Christmas yet? Totally incredible. Next, I will be going over a new report that says that Trump is basically telling insiders that I'm going to get Mitch once I win. I'm going to get him really badly. I love it. And finally, I'll be going over that crazy off-the-rails Hot Mess Express thing that Mitch is doing tomorrow before he does something on Wednesday. Goodness, you see why McConnell versus Trump is a popular video. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that Mitch McConnell tomorrow, by his own words, is going to be introducing a standalone bill for PPP. But then on Wednesday, he's going to be introducing another bill. Why he does one per day, I don't know. And what is that PPP bill on Tuesday? Now, there's two possibilities. The first possibility is totally fine. That it's new money from Treasury. He's asking for new money to be taken out for Treasury to be used for a new round of PPP. Okay, fine. I'm fine with that. Just go do what you got to do. It's going to die anyway. Or the other version, other possibility, is that he wants to take the $800 billion for your executive order money and use that for another round of PPP. Oh my God. I would have choked myself with a scarf. Are you serious, Mitch? Get your Kentucky hands off our stimulus. What's going on is that Mitch McConnell on Saturday night issued a press release. I mean, who issues a press release about something that happened on Tuesday? But he did. And the press release dropped this line about a standalone bill on Tuesday in addition to a bill on Wednesday, and it talked about an adjective, a verb that sounded like he's trying to use existing money for Tuesday's bill. I just hope that it was just a bad drafting choice of words and that I'm expecting a worst case scenario that doesn't happen. I really hope that's the case. Needless to say, we're going to pay very close attention tomorrow what that bill looks like. And ultimately, purple power do your thing. He ain't supposed to be anywhere near your moolah. I mean, that is not, no. Now, needless to say, I'm sure there's going to be some very, very well-connected GOP senators who have their big business lobbyists ready to say, hey, take America's money and give it to our businesses here. Yeah, I'm sure they're just ready to, do all silence the lamb and just sort of eat it up and just put a side of Chianti with it. I mean, it's just awful. So that is the big concern. Next concern is what's going on with the President Mitch. I've been reporting for several days now that you should not be worried about anything Mitch does on Wednesday. You should not be worried about any infighting between the President and Mitch. That the President this afternoon said that he would get anything done approved through the Senate GOPs despite whatever report is out there. So I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is this. And this is not the first time I've read a quote like this. I had one like this a few months ago. A new report out of the Daily Beast says the president has said something to the effect to his staff members: if you're backing away from him. If anyone in the Congress is backing away from him now, don't bother coming back for a favor when he wins, the other source said. He made a comment about how there's some people out here who you can only count on them when things are going your way. Trump's friction with the Republican senators didn't stop there. This past week, the president attacked Susan Collins, Republican on Twitter, for a nasty rumor that she was going to oppose the Supreme Court nominee. He said the endangered incumbent not worth the work. She is fighting for her political future. She's not liked at all, and she's really fighting tooth and nail, and she's been in a war of words with this president in recent days. And that's sort of what's going on, is that there's some GOP members who literally are just like, can I get reelected? Let me claw for my life to get reelected. And the president's like, don't use me as the evil empire. Well, a new GOP official said to the Daily Beast that there has not been a message discipline in the White House. It's totally off the rails all the time, and that you don't have a single message. This might be explaining why people are asking me on a daily basis, why has he not done the executive orders yet? And then there's Mitch. So Mitch will be doing that insane bill on Tuesday, which we hope he does not steal our stimulus money, or attempts to steal your stimulus money. And then on Wednesday will be the waste of time bill. But a lot of people are saying Mitch is the waste of time. And that includes the Lexington Herald Leader, one of Kentucky's largest newspapers, which overnight endorsed Amy McGrath over 36-year incumbent Mitch McConnell. McConnell purports to care about Kentucky and the country, but time and again he has chosen the GOP instead, said the newspaper. McConnell has raised $36 million so far, and McGrath has raised $46 million. So the big question then this afternoon is McConnell working for Trump, working against Pelosi, working for the GOP, or who is he really working for? I mean, it's just, fried chicken? So far, it's very apparent that Mitch McConnell's working against Nancy Pelosi. On Saturday, his press release that I went over as soon as it was announced on Sunday early mornings literally went after Pelosi every three sentences of the press release, called Nancy Pelosi Marie Antoinette. So it's very apparent that his entire press play or press pitch this week will be to go after Nancy Pelosi. But is he working against the president? By all accounts, Mitch is playing a very nice, tight step rope game, which is basically saying, I like my bill, but I'm not going to say I don't like your bill. It's just, what do you think about the president's bill? Well, I like my bill. Well, what do you think about the president's bill? Is it too big? I like my bill. It's just, needless to say, that does sort of read as though you don't like someone else's bill. It's sort of like you're taking out the garbage. That's what it sounds like. But ultimately, the good news is that it pushes the envelope back against Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi had really some great momentum for her all the way from May till about, I would say about August, for saying that Mitch McConnell was responsible for not giving you stimulus, that Mitch McConnell had her bill and said it was irrelevant, that Mitch McConnell wasn't doing anything for stimulus, because he wasn't, that Mitch McConnell wrote a really bad bill, the HEALS Act, and it was a bad bill. That everything that Mitch had done was either nothing or a waste of time. And so what's important to understand is that his pushback has worked. The president's pushback has worked. Our pushback has worked. Because Nancy Pelosi was singularly to blame when she said, don't come back to me unless you have a bigger deal offer in July. And to this day, between July and now, between this afternoon and tomorrow, Nancy Pelosi's my way or the highway is still where it is as of July. Her 48-hour deadline for tomorrow is still exactly where it was, in July, $2.2 trillion. And so what Mitch is trying to say is, hey, $2.2 trillion is a bad bill. And whereas my bill is not particularly covering everything and supposed to be great, it does a lot more than what she's doing for insanely bad price tag. Ultimately, what you got to understand by the end of the week is that Mitch's bill is not going to become a law. Nancy Pelosi's bill is not going to become a law. Anything that Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi talk about may not become a law. And so what could become a law? Well, you'd have to have a Nancy Pelosi, Steve Mnuchin, Donald Trump agreement, which Yeah. I've seen crazy things happen, but I don't know. At the moment, it just doesn't seem like there's progress. And then the other thing is executive orders. And so Mitch's statements, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday won't impact executive orders. Rather, it'll show that Congress, per se, didn't give you stimulus checks, and it's time for the president to step in. Let me go to some incredible comments yesterday on McConnell versus Trump. And they were good. Carolyn, will vote these people out of office. There no way should have been there. Rhonda Cook, $800 million. The president should be taking care of the American people. It's $800 billion, not $800 million. $2,000 multiple stimulus checks retroactively. There's not enough money for $2,000 checks for 6 months. That would be $12,000 per person. So we don't have enough money for that in the $800 billion. But I appreciate your comment. Gypsy, when have a bunch of buffoons gathering called Congress? Let's see the similarities. Robin, we the people should say no votes until we get our stimulus. R. Medellin, the world is watching how the federal government does the taxpayer and the citizens of the country. Tom D'Oncini, just more drama, brother. Every single one of them are dangling that carrot in front of the stick like a dying mule, only to pull it away to see how far they came to crawl. We're the mule. Michael Watts, why do we need more PPP funds when the people left $800 billion on the table from the CARES Act? Mitch needs to be voted out. I love that comment from Michael Watts, and it shows something that I've not covered on this channel, which is why do we keep on asking for PPP when people don't want PPP? It's based upon the presumption, let me explain what's going on. It's based upon the presumption that people who got the PPP before and liked it and have used it up now need another round of PPP, and it won't be people who didn't apply. It'll be the same people from before that need another round of PPP. Again, it falls under the get behind me thing. These are people who got their PPP before you. They've gotten their relief, and now it's time for them to wait behind you. Victor De Silva, everybody wants executive orders for $2,000 checks. Amen. Alicia, if they truly did care and we're not all crazy, they would have gotten this done. Rebecca, the whole government is a joke. Earl Truman, us Americans need a stimulus bill. Quick Delane. Nancy Gaw, I said enough is enough, President Donald Trump. Just do the darn order. Patty, I'm the only one that feels like that I'm being held hostage by a bunch of people in Washington. Something has to be done now. Victor De Silva again. We need executive orders. He's referring to also Mitch McConnell's bill and says that's not going to get us anywhere. Of course it won't. What a day it is. A noisy day, needless to say. But we're going to get to the finish line, and we're going to realize that Mitch's bills collectively don't become law. The bill tomorrow may spook us a little bit. We'll see what's in there. The bill after that, the day after, we really don't care about. There'll be a lot of publicity about it. You'll already know why. The publicity is something to ignore. So go to the Finish channel, subscribe, because we're going to get through this together. We're going to get to the finish line together, and we're going to go over the finish line together. Also like this video. Coming up next is Pelosi versus Mnuchin. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay in that life.